Hello and welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Sagittarius. This is going to be for today, January 12th, all the way up until the 18th. Alright, Sagittarius, you're up next. And we're going to pull out your 3 romance angel messages for the week. Then we'll pull out your animal spirits. And then we shall go from there. I'm going to pull out your forecast for the week and see what you may or may not be going through. Now, this is a general reading for the week, so it could cover the area of love or career or friends, right? Healing, growth, whatever comes up. But I do pull romance angel messages just to see what the nature of your more intimate relationships may be this week, or even your friendships and family, right? Connections may be. So let's just see. We have new love and separation. We also have express your love. All right, so a couple of different messages, right? This is why I pulled 3 cards for the week. Let's go ahead and get out your animal spirits. The animal spirits can represent energies becoming available to you. They can represent stages in your life that you're entering into, or individuals that you may be dealing with, right? Their characteristics or personality types. So let's just see what kind of animal spirits may or may not be walking with you this week. And again, just take what applies to you, Sagittarius, and let the rest go. I myself am a Sagittarius. I have 4 planets in Sagittarius, so, you know, I resonate with these. Deer. We have whale. And we have the lizard. Nice. Fire, water, and earth. So, before we get into your forecast for the week, Sagittarius, let's just go over your animal spirits. The deer is the card for the mother, right? It's an earth spirit. Talks about being extremely nurturing and gentle, yet very, very alert and aware and careful and protective. This is the kind of energy that you want to have whenever you are sort of bringing something new into the world and you need to protect it. Something, maybe perhaps a new baby, right? Or even just a new creative endeavor, perhaps a project or an idea that is in its infancy and that needs a lot of nurturing, that needs a lot of care. You know, this is the type of energy that we would want to have for anything that is growing, that is young and growing, whether that be a person or an idea or a project or a goal. You want to have this kind of energy, right? The deer is definitely indicative of some of you out there, Sagittarius, maybe becoming new mothers, maybe having life coming into your life, a new life coming into your sort of, into your family, right? It's very nice, very strong, very protective, yet, like I said, very, very nurturing. Then we have the whale. The whale is water energy, and the whale talks about type of animal spirit that is very, very strong when it comes to emotional matters. The whale can go very, very deep in the ocean and is strong enough to withstand the pressure. So we're talking about really diving deep into difficult emotions, difficult traumas, dealing with trauma in life, right? Handling that trauma, handling the feelings that come along with that. And so whale energy is there when we really need to sort of be buoyed up, be strengthened, right? Have some stability while we're going through a very difficult emotional time. The lizard is a fire element. And the lizard is interesting because lizards have a very heightened sense of perception, right? And so it's almost an extrasensory perception in a way, right? They can oftentimes see things before they happen, or hear things. If you ever see a lizard in the wild, they're always alert. They're always sort of, they seem to be getting information that the rest of us don't necessarily see or hear or feel, right? But the one thing with the lizard is that it can become a little bit over sort of stimulated, right? there can be too much information coming in for a lizard sometimes. And certainly their senses can be so heightened that they literally get overheated, overstimulated, you know, and before you know it, the lizard is completely burnt out, right? So this is a time, sometimes lizard energy, when you're resonating with this kind of energy, you have to be very careful. And certainly if you feel like everything is kind of becoming quite, you know, chaotic in as far as your perception is concerned, you really can't tell what is what from, you know, one thing from the next, or perhaps you're just becoming extremely exhausted because of all of it. It's time to take a step back and take a rest, right? So let's get right into your spreads. Sagittarius, we're going to pull out 4 spreads, 3-card spreads. Don't forget to check the placement of your other planets. So your moon, your rising sign, your Venus, Mars, all of that. If they are in different zodiac signs, then you might want to check out the readings for those signs and see which reading resonates with you more. Sometimes your rising sign reading can resonate more for your situation, or even your moon. You know, I have a moon in Leo. Sometimes the Leo readings are very, very strong for me, you know. So let's just see, my lovely Sagittarius, brothers and sisters, what you may or may not be encountering this week. Empress energy, Hermit energy, and the Queen of Pentacles. So some of you are certainly coming into this week with Empress energy. You're taking care of yourself. You're feeling beautiful. You're feeling empowered. It's all about you sort of really taking time for yourself, nurturing yourself. Excuse me, my voice is starting to go. At the end of every weekend, my voice starts to go because I do so many readings on the weekends. But Empress energy can also be associated with Taurus at times. But here we're talking about just generally being very nurturing to yourself, you know, taking time out to make sure that you have everything that you need, that your mind, your body is taken care of, your soul. All these areas in your life are being nurtured, are being nourished, are being sort of, you know, taken care of, right? You're being very creative right now as well, feeling very creative. And the Empress is also very receptive in a lot of ways, right? The divine feminine energy. So you're coming into the week with this energy. It's very deer-like energy as well, you know. That protective, you know, caring, gentle caring, yet strong and protective energy that is associated with the Empress. So you could be coming into the week with this energy. You're met with the Hermit, and the Hermit oftentimes is a state of mind where you are walking the path sort of on your own. You're being very solitary, but the Hermit can also indicate a teacher coming into your life, right? So there could be someone who comes into your life that has a real sort of spiritual sort of outlook or focus, and that has some kind of wisdom to impart to you, right? And here I believe that this is the case for you. I do. I think that this week, although you're feeling very sort of empowered, right, in your own skin, could very well be that a teacher or someone is coming into you to impart some wisdom. Could also be for some of you Sagittarius, just that this week is a week where you're feeling very solitary, you know, where you're feeling very much like on your own, working on things on your own. You may not be feeling very sociable this week. You round out the week with the Queen of Pentacles, and that's interesting. It's almost as if this is a week where you're kind of really working on your career. You may be working on your business or whatever creative endeavors that bring money in for you also. You know, they are close to your heart, and you may be very creative. It's something you love to do, but it's also something that you live off of. And so in this way, it's kind of the two are merged. And you round off the week with the Queen of Pentacles, which is really doubling down on putting a lot of effort into that area of your life. For some of you, it could just be that this week is a week where you've decided to pull back from everyone else and really just work on your career. You know, if it's not the case of you sort of meeting a spiritual teacher, and then I don't even mean a teacher, this could be a friend as well. It could also be like someone who just comes into you, who maybe is a very good friend or a relative or somebody who you know you always respect their advice, right? they themselves are very solitary. But in any case, you just kind of are pulling back this week. It could be that after all of the holiday time, Christmas and New Year's and all of that, it's really, this is a week where you're really wanting to sort of be on your own, work on yourself, and work on your business. King of Cups, Five of Swords, and the Sun. Some of you are coming into the week with a King of Cups energy, which is like you are very much sort of locking down a union, a love connection perhaps. The King of Cups really knows who he wants. He really knows what kind of relationship he wants. He knows, he has his eye firmly fixed on a particular love scenario. He's very much the hunter. Excuse my cat, she's here, she's crying. She's always like making sounds during the readings. And he very much knows what he wants, right? He oftentimes is ready for a marriage or a higher level of commitment, right? He can be quite possessive sometimes, though. He can be quite jealous at times. But in any case, it seems like this week you're kind of coming into the week with a real definite idea of taking a particular love connection to the next level, making that commitment, making sure that this union happens. But you're met with a Five of Swords, and there's some sort of disagreement there. It could very well be that this week, as you move forward with this connection or this commitment level that you're wanting to make with a love connection, that you're met with a real sort of battle here, because 5 is the number for power struggle. It just seems to be a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering. It could very well be that this person that you've kind of had your eye on, you may already be in a relationship with them, quite honestly, right? You may already be in a commitment with them, but this week there's a lot of strife going on. It's a lot of fighting going on, and ultimately you kind of just throw your hands up and you kind of say enough is enough, right? It could certainly be that you've been dealing with this connection for quite some time, and it's always been a bit of arguing, a bit of bickering, and it's just enough. By the end of the week, the Sun comes out for you. There's a lot of clarity and room for growth. I want to say that at some point this week, for some of you, you make a decision. You make a decision about your love life, right? And it's a lot of, I think this is also why you're coming in as the King of Cups, because the King of Cups is very much sort of the dominant one in the relationship, right? He's the one who decides when he gets in the relationship. He's the one who decides when the relationship is over and it's time to move on. He's very much sort of the king of the relationship, the king of the union, in the sense that he kind of dominates, right? And it feels very much like you are deciding for yourself, okay, you know what? By the end of the week, certainly with the Sun energy coming in, it's like, okay, I'm not really sure this is the type of relationship I want anymore. I'm not sure that this is the type of union that I want. I'm not here for the bickering and the arguing. It could also be that there's some information that becomes clear to you by the end of the week about this connection, why there is so much of a power struggle going on. Could be that up until now you really didn't have all of the information, and it certainly could indicate that there may be a separation coming in, right? And certainly some clarity coming in here with the Sun about what you really should be doing here and how you want to move forward. Certainly you want to have growth in your life, and it seems as though right now there is none. It could just be a trial separation or a short separation that is needed here, because things have gotten sort of overheated with this lizard energy. Things may have gotten overheated and too much has been going on, right? But nevertheless, by the end of the week what you want to do, because the Sun always brings clarity. Ace of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So Ace of Wands is very much a feeling of a whole new passion coming into your life, a whole new sort of, I want to say, ideal, or it could also sometimes be a relationship as well. It could just be a relationship that there's a lot of strong sort of physical attraction, because the Ace of Wands is the phallic symbol in the deck. In any case, there's a new connection coming in, right? A possibility, right? It's something that really makes you feel excited and passionate. This can be creative endeavors as well, right? Because we're talking about Pentacles energy here. So this could also be a new sort of project or a new idea that you are sort of following that suddenly has gripped your heart and your passion. You feel very strongly about it, right? Could even be like, starting a new sort of, if you're suddenly getting into a new sort of social scene, or perhaps that scene. An example could be like if you're suddenly getting into sort of activist work, right? You have a certain, you have a cause that you found, right? That you feel really passionate about, and it's new for you. That's also something that Ace of Wands can talk about, just following a new path or a new cause in your life that is close to your heart, that has awoken your inspiration in a lot of ways. You're met with the Eight of Pentacles this week, and it's as if you realize that if you want to follow this Ace of Wands, if you want to follow this new passion, it's going to require a lot of work. And so in this way, Eight of Pentacles certainly talks about being very sort of disciplined, right? Knuckling down, making sure you get to work and get the work done, right? By the end of the week, you have a Page of Pentacles that you round the week off, and that could be also definitely an understanding of what it takes to accomplish something. So I almost feel as though for some of you Sagittarius, you already have a job that you really, really love, that you work very hard at. And it almost seems as though this new Ace of Wands coming in is something that, in order for you to follow this, you're just going to have to work even harder here. Maybe raise the funds that you want to raise, right? Or master the craft that you need to master to follow this Ace of Wands. And so by the end of the week, Page of Pentacles, it's a real sense of a new kind of commitment in your career or business. A new avenue or a new sort of angle that's been added to your job so that you can follow this Ace of Wands, right? An example could be, say for instance, you have a certain kind of job that you need to go to every single day, and the job is maybe you work in an administration or business or something like that, right? And suddenly this week, you found this new cause. You found this new passionate thing that you want to be involved in. It could be a humanitarian effort or a very creative effort. Maybe you have a skill with working with children or something like that. Now you have this new avenue where you can be very creative, you can work with children, and it's very important to you, right? And you realize that the work that you already do can help you with this, right? Can impact this new cause of yours. And so you round off the week with a Page of Pentacles, this idea of like almost a new idea in the sense that it's not like you quit your job or leave your job, but you have this new outlook on how your job that you already have can really help you to further this new sort of passion of yours, right? You begin to come up with new ideas and plans for it. If there's any sort of, any problems that may hinder you from following this goal, you come up with solutions for that. You're being just very, very sort of diligent and proactive and very grounded, but very sort of like practical about how you can sort of marry the two together. This is a really nice sort of spread for somebody who is opening up their lives to a new endeavor, and it feels like a cause to me, certainly something very passionate. Justice, last spread, Queen of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. So Justice talks about rebalancing. You're coming into the week, some of you, really looking for a rebalancing. And maybe that you're waiting for a particular decision to come in or a judgment to come in, but you are waiting. You're definitely seeking, and I keep saying waiting, but I don't know if it's waiting is the case, but you certainly have your eye on a rebalancing that needs to happen. Somewhere along there was something went out of balance, or perhaps there was an injustice, done in some way, but you're waiting this week and looking for an event to come in that's going to rebalance everything. It's going to sort of bring everything back into focus, the way it should be, right? Could be that you've been waiting for this for quite some time. Certainly if you're involved with a court decision or a business decision, right? In any case, you come into the week with this, you're really, really thinking about it a lot. I do think for some of you, you're waiting for a decision to come in. It could be that you have a court date this week or a mediation date this week, what have you, that you are looking forward to, that's really been sort of in the forefront of your mind and the focus of your mind. You really can't move past anything until this event happens. You met with a Queen of Swords this week energy, so it's a real feeling of sort of finally letting go of any sort of masks or roles that you've been playing. You're being very honest this week about who you are and what you require. So again, it feels strongly to me like it could be for some of you that you have, you're looking forward to some sort of appointment or meeting this week where you can be, where you can really sort of air your grievances. You can be very honest about what it is you want, what it is you require. It almost feels like a mediation process, right? It could be very well a mediation meeting with a divorce or separation, etc., right? In any case, it allows you to really throw your cards on the table. Because Queen of Swords is all about laying all of her cards on the table and being very, very transparent and honest. And I think it's going to feel very much like a relief for you to go through this, right? You round your week off with a Seven of Cups, and I think that generally Seven of Cups can be a feeling of delusion and sort of like being unrealistic about your goals. But I think in this case, it's just a feeling of really daydreaming about your future now that you can see the end of the tunnel, like the light at the end of the tunnel. It just feels strongly to me like some of you have been in a union and you can't wait to get out of it. You can't wait to have that divorce or that separation or that mediation, process happen this week, so you can finally just tell whoever how you really feel and what you want to happen next, that you want them out of your life perhaps. And it feels really kind of like such a sense of freedom that, by the end of the week, you're able to daydream again and really fantasize again about this new life. It may be unrealistic, but that's okay. We're allowed to do that. It's as long as we don't stay in this energy for too long and just sort of languish in daydreaming without doing any real steps towards achieving our goals. But everybody needs to daydream. Everybody needs to sort of dream about their future and dream about the things they wish to happen to keep them motivated, keep them happy. And I think this is just a Seven of Cups is just very much a backlash or a sort of response to you finally being freed here from a particular situation where you weren't able to sort of dream about what you wanted. You were kind of stuck in a situation that there wasn't so much magic or being able to look to the future. Of course, that's why you're getting out of it. This is why I feel this is strongly probably a separation or a divorce. But in any case, it's nice. It feels nice. It feels like you're like, oh, now let me imagine my future for myself, even for a little while and see what goals do I want to have now. And it just feels really nice to just daydream and just sort of like, have different possibilities open to you for the first time in a very long time. All right, Sagittarius, this is your reading January 12th to the 18th. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give me a like or a comment and subscribe if you want. And hit that bell. That way you can get notified of all my readings. I always do weeklies, monthlies, mid-monthlies, and then generally we'll do other readings as well. Maybe lunar readings, full moon or new moon, depending on the month. So it's always good to hit the bell so you can be notified when a new video is up. But for right now, Sagittarius, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.